Proverbs chapter 12, verse 19. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. I would like to start this video off by saying HALALYAM like Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the men I learned this truth from. This lesson is going to be titled, Through the Spirit, Detach from this life. Now, detaching yourself from this life is knowing that this place is not what we think it is. You know, when you're a younger brother like myself and you start learning this truth through the Spirit of Yahawah, the Heavenly Father, and His Son, Yahawashi, who this world calls any other false name besides Yahawashi, you start to realize that this place is only here for a moment. And that's why through the Spirit, I brought this precept, Proverbs 12 and 19. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. So this life is but for a moment. You can't attach yourself to something that is but for a moment. You got to be attached to the truth, you know, I'm going to get into further precepts, but that's just the way you got to establish your mindset. And the only way that you can receive this mindset is through the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. So I'm going to move on to the next precept. This one's going to be James 4 and 14. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. So you have no idea what tomorrow holds. You know, this would later on throughout this precept, you know, if I continue on it, but I'm just going to focus on verse 14. But this is where we get the term Lord willing in the holy tongue, which is Rawchaa. Lord willing, that's the way you have to establish your mind. You know, if you have plans to eat a certain food, you have plans to do a certain activity, such as going to the gym or, you know, making a lesson or reading, you know, you got to say, Lord willing. That's the mindset you have to carry. Lord willing, I'm able to accomplish this goal. You know, and as long as it's for righteousness, you know, you got to pray that the Lord allows you to do so. So, just like camp, you know, Lord willing, we're able to continue to go out there and teach, because it's a fearful thing to, you know, turn your back on the plow. Now, the Lord will have mercy on certain individuals, but we encourage brothers to go out there and do the works. Don't turn back to the world. This world has nothing to offer. This world is but for a moment. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about the world is going to be completely wiped away and we're going to go move to Mars. Nah, because that's how these people in this world like to think. That's how the Elon Musks, the Bill Gates, that's the way they like to paint their mindset. That's what they like to teach the world, that we're going to be living in Mars in 30 plus years or whatever these people think. You know, that's all a lie. These people have lying tongues, and they're going to be killed off for doing, you know, and put into captivity for thinking and teaching this way. You know, but this world will be refreshed. You know, like a new update on your phone, a new update on your gaming system. You know, it will be refreshed to where it feels new again. It'll feel like, you know, it'll be better than we've ever seen whenever Yahawashi returns. But let me continue. For what is your life? So you got to ask yourself, what is your life? What is this thing we call life? It is even a vapor. And what is a vapor? You know, in today's society, everyone at this point should know what vapor is. You know, especially when a wicked place like this, where you see all these young men and women puffing on vapes. You know, I was in high school not too long ago. You know, not even 5 years ago, and you know, roughly 4 years ago. And you don't even have to be in high school, but all these boys and girls have vapes. They puff on vapor. And I'm mentioning that because how the scripture refers to your life. You know, these heathen, these wicked 2/3 Israelites, you know, they would bring their vapes into class and puff on them because they're quick. You let that smoke come out your mouth and it goes away like within a matter of seconds. So your life is a matter of seconds, according to the Lord, the one who created your entire life. This life is but a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. Vaping's nothing new, but I just made reference because, these young men and women, they know what vapes are. They know, the elder generations as well. I'm trying to think of maybe, hookah would be considered a vapor, any type of smoke, but especially those vapors. So let me continue with this lesson. And the point with this one was, don't hold on to this. Pray that the Lord is guiding you. This is why we consider the Lord. The Lord has revealed these things unto us. Because before you come into this truth, before you're reborn, you think a certain way. You think that you can make plans. I had my own plans. Every brother before this truth had plans. We weren't spiritual. We weren't heavy in the spirit of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi. We were consumed with the world. We thought we would have a career. We thought we would be some type of individual in the world. But the Lord has showed mercy unto us, and He has chosen us. We didn't choose to go out there and teach. The Lord put that spirit on us. We didn't choose to hop on the phone and speak with brothers. The Lord put that spirit on us. We didn't choose to, be the way that we are. Our Creator created us for a purpose, and we just pray that He's merciful and continues to keep us on well regards with Him. We don't want to be opposing the Lord. That's the fear of the Lord. Well, if you fear the Lord, you're not going to want to do anything to disrespect and disobey. You want to be in that obedient mindset. And the only way you can be in that obedient mindset is by being open to receive this word, which is in the form of reading, the form of speaking with brothers, the form of going out there teaching, the form of, reflipping this spiritual money, the talents. That's like the parable goes into, the Lord is going to give you 5 talents, 10 talents. And whatever you do with that, you got to be able to flip it. The Lord gave you a precept today. Now go out and teach it. And through the Spirit, you'll turn around and get 2 more back. You'll get 3 more back, That's how that this is a spiritual thing. You're not going to physically see a bank account with how much, you've done or how much have you earned. But the Lord is keeping tabs. The Lord knows who is who. He knows who is a profitable servant, that faithful servant. And that's what we strive to be. We're not striving to be, somebody on this side, as a worldly dude. No, we're in the spiritual side of things, and we're hoping that the Lord has mercy on us and continues to guide us. So, this is going to be Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart. So stand, arise and leave. For this is not your rest. We're not supposed to be resting on this side. Granted, everything comes with a balance. We're not telling you if you go out and teach, you got to teach the next day, and the next day. No, you got to study. To the best of your ability. You got to teach to the best of your ability. Because when you first step into an actual gym, you don't go and hit it, as hard as you can, and then to the point you don't ever come back. We're not telling you to open up the Bible and read until the point you never come back. No, you got to find that balance. You got to pray that the Lord guides you, and He lets you continue. He allows you to grow, because the Lord is the reason why we're growing. It has nothing to do with, how the world wants it to be. You're not going to find a program you could buy and it's going to allow you to do this and do that. No, the Lord's going to put the Spirit on individuals. Because you could waste your time with programs and doing this and that, but if the Spirit's not dealing with you, then it's not worth it. You're not there. There's nothing being done. And that's why they got these cemetery schools, as the elder apostle Tahar likes to put it. These seminaries. These people go and they don't learn shit. They don't know anything. So when the world sees a brother on the streets teaching, they're amazed. They're amazed at how the Spirit works. That's something you can't buy into. You can't just buy your way into the truth. No, the Lord has chosen the men he chose to deal with. He chooses to deal with, and the women. Now, the women aren't teachers, but they stay home. And the Lord has other works for them. He has them, searching out their husbands. And the husbands, if they're dealing with those women, and they're of the elect, and they shall be saved. So the Lord has everything under His control, and it's a beautiful thing, but it's also scary. Especially to a newcomer. This is something I've accepted, through the Spirit, but a lot of people, it's hard for them to grasp because they like that they love what the world has taught them, which is you have this free will, you have full control, and that's just not the case. And I always mention it, but of course, it's through the Spirit. Proverbs 20:24, man's goings are of the Lord. How can then a man understand his way? You can't. We can't understand why the things we do is what we do, but through the Spirit, we are able to come into the Word and read and realize, what? This is exactly, it's like something, it's returning unto us. It mentions that in Sirach, this truth shall return unto those who practice in her. We're just practicing. And then one day, we're going to be tested. The Lord is having us being tested at this moment. And who's able to remain strong in this truth. Because the Lord wants high-valued men. He doesn't want some random dude who's not sincere. The Lord wants high-valued men that are going to be focused, men that are going to be determined, just as our elders and apostles are. They've been doing this 30+ years. But who do they give their credit to? They give their credit to the Lord. They don't take it in for themselves because they understand this life isn't theirs. This life isn't ours. This is for the Lord, and this is the time that He's given us to get right. So arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Arise and depart spiritually. If you're caught up in the world and the things that they teach, then you're not departed. You're still holding on to something that's not really there. You're holding on to that lying tongue. Because the full systems, AKA the school systems, the way they teach is all lies. They teach you that this so-called white man came onto a land and named it America, and he discovered this whole place. He's the reason why it's the way it is, and that it is true. He is the reason why it is the way it is. All fucking wicked, all disgusting. The so-called natives didn't have responsibility for how this place turned out. Millions of them were slaughtered. And that's something that you can't just forget. That's something you can't just sweep under the rug. This is the valley and shadow of death. But they teach that this place is all great. That's why they make America great again. You got these sayings out there. They think this place is something to be proud of. And it's not. The lying tongues are but for a moment. So they're having their moment. Let's let them have their moment. When Yahawashi returns, then we'll see who's really, who's really great. What's really great, in the eyes of the Lord. Because these people don't consider the Lord. Even on their dollar bills, it says, "In God we trust." You got to ask yourself, what God do they trust? Because then the scriptures constantly make mention of false gods. But Micah 2:10, because it is polluted. So this place is polluted. It's disgusting. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. And the brother GMS FAQ, this is his website. I highly recommend it. There's a website at the bottom, the King James, thekingjames.es. Oh yeah, so he has the breakdown. It says, "Arise ye and depart," not literally, but more. And then there's these two precepts I want to get into. I believe the first one I clicked on was Romans 12:2. "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Your mind is simultaneous, I believe that's the proper word, with your heart. They're the same thing. "That ye may prove what is good." What is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High? You got to renew your mind. You got to be reborn into this reality. Because everyone else that's not in the truth, they don't live in the reality of things. They look at us like we're crazy, and we're looking at them like they're crazy. And at the end of the day, the Lord's going to decide who's right and who's wrong. Who's on that right hand and who's on that left hand. And you want to be on that right hand. That's why you're on this video. That's why we read. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we call upon the true names. Yahawah, Yahawashi. We're in fear of the Lord. The world is not in fear of the Lord. If they were in fear of if they were moving in that fear, that righteous fear, they wouldn't be acting the way they act. Our women would be women again. Our men would be men again. But that's not what's taught in this society. And then Isaiah 52:11. This isn't the one I wanted to get on, but I'm going to go ahead and read it because it is a Tawab precept. Isaiah 52:11. Depart ye, go ye out from thence. Touch no unclean thing. Go ye out of the midst of her. Be ye clean that bear the vessels of the Lord. Depart. Stay clean. And the only way you're able to stay clean is if the Lord's dealing with you and guiding you. But this is the one I really wanted to get into, 2 Corinthians 6:16. And what agreement hath the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power. So we're the temple, not these so-called these church buildings that the government has established in your city. As the Most High hath said, I will dwell in them, and walk in them. The Lord's walking through our bodies. So we have to be welcoming to him. We got to put away the things that this world has to offer. And I will be their power, and they shall be my people. So the Lord is dealing with his people, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, the Israelites. We have Israelite foreigners out there that may look like other nations, but going back to their forefathers, I mentioned their forefathers, not their mothers. In this society, they teach you, whatever. If your mom's black and your dad's white, then you're half black. No, you're an Edomite, because that's what this society calls a so-called white man. Or that's what society calls an Edomite in today's times, a so-called white man. But if your father happens to be an Israelite, your mother happens to be a heathen, such as a Hamite, Edomite, Moabite, whatever, you're an Israelite. It don't matter how you come out looking. You may come out looking like a Moabite, which is today's society would be a Chinese man. You may come out looking like an Ammonite, which is today's society would be a Japanese. But if your father is an Israelite, you go back to the Israelites. You don't go back to those other nations. Women are but vessels. A woman could carry any nation in the entire world. A man could only carry his nationality, his heritage. So that's the beautiful thing, the way the Lord has it set up. It's so simple, but yeah, it's so complex to the world. It's a stumbling block for y'all that don't get it. So I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the brother has a quote right here. It says, quoting Leviticus 26:12, and I will walk among you, and will be your power, and ye shall be my people. Can't you, through the Spirit, can't you just tell, the way the scriptures just line up together? And I'm only like 3 or 4 in, or I'm not too sure how many I've read, but that's just the way the Spirit has it. The Lord has it to where it all blends together. You're not getting all this he said, she said, this and that like the world is. The world is just a bunch of confusion. This word is pure. The way the Lord has it set up, we're able to go through it, through the Spirit. So this will be my last precept, and I'm going to close out. This is John 12:25. He that loveth his life shall lose it. So if you love this life, you love this lying tongue that's established the society, you love the lies that it offers, such as these so-called folly days, what are so-called holy holidays, but in reality they're folly, they're foolishness. Christmas is a foolish thing. Birthdays are a foolish thing. Valentine's are a foolish thing. Halloween is a foolish thing. Thanksgiving is a foolish thing. But you get around to 2/3, that's all they want to talk about. What are you going to do for Thanksgiving? What are you going to do for Christmas? What are you going to do for your birthday? What are you going to do for this? What are you going to do for that? You got to ask yourself in your own mind, because, we can't talk to these 2/3 the way we would like, because we got to keep our cool, But in our heads, we're thinking, what the hell are you doing for the Lord? I have to deal with this coworker who burps up pig. He gets those pig tacos. Carnitas. You know, the Northern Kingdom's very familiar with it. And I guarantee the Southern Kingdom as well, because that's what this 2/3 is. He comes from the Southern Kingdom, but he's up burping up pigs in my office, and I have to smell that shit. It's disgusting. But they're quick to ask you things of the world, but you got to remember it. Hey, the Lord may have mercy on these people. We don't know, but we can't be teaching in the workplace. So we got to just keep our cool. If the Lord has him stumble across your videos, or another brother's videos, because that's more likely, or stumbles across a brother out there teaching, then hey, the Lord can cleanse him. But at the end of the day, these people, majority of the time, they're just a 2/3. It's very rare that you come across a sincere brother, especially in your day-to-day life. Now on the internet, the Lord has it to where we're all connecting. We're connecting, very fast. The Lord has sped this process up. But he that loveth his life shall lose it. So you can't love your life, because you'll lose it. You're going to lose that lying tongue that's established this thing we call life. But the Lord has returned that spirit unto us to come out of this place, departing from it. And he that hateth his life in this world, you pay attention, it says, he that hateth his life in this world. So in this time zone, let me go to that word world. Cosmos. Okay, so this cosmos just represents, a group, the world, the universe, the circle of the earth, the inhabitants of the earth, man and the woman. Because in other words, John 3:16, it's the same word, cosmos, but that word goes back to a group of people, which are the Israelites. It doesn't go back to the entire world. Now, for this instance, it looks like, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken, this represents, this society shall keep it unto life eternal. So forever. If you hate your life in this society, the Lord shall bless you with life. Because you're learning the right from the wrong. So I'm not gonna continue on. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Rawchaa. I would like to close out by saying HALALYAM like Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Qadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the men I learned this truth from. SHALAWAM to the hopeful and sincere elect.